Hello, good evening. We'll start at 8 p.m. sharply. Let's wait for others to join. Hello, good evening all. Let's wait for another couple of minutes. We'll start the session. Let others to join. So any new participant today as a day one today? Can you please type a new in chat box? If you are new to this session, just type new in the chat box. Welcome, Rabia. I'm just repeating once again. If you are new to this session as a day one, you just type new in the chat box. Okay. Thanks for your replies. We'll wait one more minute to join other participants and we will start the session. Good evening all. Let's wait one more minute to join the session and we'll start the session. Meanwhile, I'm sharing my screen. I'm just sharing the PPT. Type yes if you're able to see. Is my voice is clear and you can able to see my PPT? Type yes in the chat box. Thank you for the reply. I can see some people new to this session as a day one. Don't worry, I am going to recollect yesterday's session topic once again before going to the day two topic. Okay, let's quickly start. We don't want to waste up any time. Okay, I just want to, before starting the recap, I'm going to give you a general information about this free demo class. The first 3 sessions will be free to attend. And from 4th session, Zoom meeting link will be shared to registered participants only. Please note, the first 2 session recording will be uploaded on Logic Labs Technology YouTube channel. We will share the link in the WhatsApp community that you can access via this particular link. So there is no batch shifting and there is no refund. All the session recording and notes will be provided to you in LMS Graphy after the session completed, that you can access and you can quickly go through. Hope you are clear. If you have any doubt, any query should be addressed, you can contact these provided 2 numbers, and also you can email support@logiclabtech.com. They will be ready to help you to sort out your queries addressed. Without wasting the time, let's get into the day 1, what we have gone through yesterday, so that it will be helpful for you to go through it very quickly. Recap. We'll do it in next 10 minutes. We'll complete it. And we'll go for the day 2 topic, which is about web services. So people who are new to this session as a day 1, I just want to give my self introduction. My name is Mohammed Yasir. I have a 17 plus year of experience in banking and BFSI domain. I love to solve the problems what bank and bank customers facing, especially by designing the strong and flexible system by using my expertise skill in Spring Boot and microservices. So I would like to share my expertise skill with you all in this session through our journey. That's about myself. Let's get into the topic. So quickly we'll fresh up now, as we have a lot of item to cover up today. So day 1 agenda we already discussed. Okay, like what is the software architecture? What type of the architecture is available in the market? What is SOA, service oriented architecture, and monolithic architecture? Why microservices? Why we are learning that microservices? What is the advantages? What is the challenges with the microservices? And what is the need of Spring Boot here? And finally, difference between Spring and Spring Boot. That's what the topic was covered yesterday. The people who are new here, I just want to go to quickly revise it, as well as we are shared the recording session link in the WhatsApp community. If you find time, just go and watch it. You there, I have explained in very much detail. If you have any queries after watching the video, feel free to text in the WhatsApp. I'm happy to help you. Quickly, I used to start the session by giving the motivational quote, so that we will be have an intention to learn any new skill. That's why I start the day usually. I want to give that flavor to you all so that you will also get it motivated. So that's the concept. So believe in you can, and you are half faith done. That's a word, motivational quote. And some set of rule I define myself so that this particular session will be fruitful for everyone. So usually my session first 5 to 7 minutes will go for the recapping the last session. So people can easily recall what is the topic we had discussed yesterday and able to connect the next day session easily. The new session start at sharply 8:10. If you have any doubt in ongoing topic, you just raise the hand. Then and there, we will sort out the clarification. Because without that, you can't receive the new concepts. It will be confused. If you are too excited about the topic and which is out of the context, let's handle at the doubt clarification time. That is last 5 minutes of the session. Always ask the question if you have, feel free and comfortable. Let's move on to what is software architecture. As I said, software architecture is a fundamental structure to build your software system. Imagine if you are going to build any of your new house, there are a lot of functional, fundamental, important structure will be required to build the construction, right? Same way, you required a components or software entities required to build your own software system. And there will be a discipline of creating that structure and system. That is called software architecture. It's kind of high level design decision. What are the components you have to rightly place at the right area? That's what it is talking about. So that you can easily construct your software system very easily with help of software architecture skill. This particular skill is very much important for everyone, not only the software architects, it is also required for the developers who is coding the system so that you can build your system very much effectively and without any degrading performance. So software architecture skill is fundamental for everyone to know about it. So what are the type of softwares architectures are available in the market? There are so many are there. I don't want to go beyond the limit, which is very much important to focus this particular four architectures. First one is monolithic architecture. Second one is microservices architecture. Third one is service oriented architecture. And fourth one is event driven architecture. Let's explore one by one. The first I will go with the monolithic architecture. It's a very traditional software development approach where your entities are clubbed together as a single unit so that your internal components are tightly coupled. It is kind of object to object or module to module talking in the single unit so that you have a lot of advantages, also some drawbacks also there with the monolithic architecture. So it is very simple because you have a single source code where you can ask your developers to get into the source code and give the problem statement and solution. They can quickly build the solution quickly. So it is also easy to development. Also, the performance will be high because your code is tightly coupled with together. Yes, please. I can see some people or raise the hand. I would like to talk to them. 1 minute. Just hold on. Hi, Rabita. Can you please unmute yourself and raise your question? I feel to help you. Hello, Rabia.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
Yes, Rabia, please go ahead.
Yes, good morning. Actually, I'm from US. So
Good,
I
very
have
good
just
morning.
questions.
Yeah, yes, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are clear. Please go
Okay.
on.
So I have to not, I mean, related to this, not this topic, but general
Okay.
question.
Okay.
For example, if you do the course like Power BI, so when we learn in the real time,
Mhm.
uh, in our in corporate office, so they have the junior or senior Power BI, I mean, the job, or just only one person can do, like for example in the technical field they have so like senior and junior persons, right?
Correct.
In the
Correct.
same way we have, I mean, this also the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Which is related to topic or is it general? Are you asking, Rabia?
General, I'm asking the general because when I'm joining the course, so I just wanted to know, is it a one person can do all the things, the Power BI job, or maybe they have the senior and juniors also there in the team?
Usually, the information technology domain works like everyone can do whatever things is, but we have a clear segregation and role
Mm.
mapping. So usually, when you are building your system, any language, any platform, if you talk about,
Okay.
the system will be designed first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how the components will be talk each other. Okay. So what is the language you choose? So how the communication will happen? All the things should be very much clear in while doing the design phase. So once you done the design phase with considering the business funding, all the things as are finalized, you will go for a POC, right? Proof of concept. Whatever things we can talk a lot of things, right? But you need to do some proofing. So whether the concept, the theoretical concept is really working or not, that you have to do some POC, that is like proof of concept. So once you've done a small POC and prove that your theoretical or solution is working well in advance, then you can call up the development team and providing the solution to them. Then they will buy it and they will be starting the development based on your lower design documentation. This is the general pattern across the domain we will be following, Rabia. That's your answer. Hope you are clear with me.
Actually, not that. My question is, in the
Okay.
team, how many team members is there in the same
It's
like Power
again
BI?
depends on the funding, Rabia. So
Because
we
I'm
can
in the
also
automation side, so we have like senior and junior. So the same thing, is it the same thing
yes,
the other
yes, it is
this team
applicable
also?
for across all the domain and service based companies or product based companies. Everyone have their own team,
Uh-huh.
the blend of junior and senior developers. That's how it works.
Okay, got it. Mhm.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, you can mute yourself. Yes, Saraswati, I'm just unmuting you. Please unmute yourself and talk.
Your screens are not sharing. First screen only it's showing.
Oh, sorry about it. Okay, 1 minute. Let me reshare once again.
Yeah. When
Sorry
you are
about it.
explaining, it's not related.
Okay,
That.
okay, got it, got it, got it, got it. 1 minute. Yes. Is it fine now? Able to see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Thanks.
Saraswati,
Yeah.
for the highlight. Yeah, thank you. Okay, sorry to the hold. 1 minute. I'll quickly resume back. Let's get into that. We have a lot of topic to cover. So likely quickly going on. Okay, so monolithic, I have already discussed with you, right? So we have a process that we have completed. So concerns also we have. We have the flexibility and agility. So there will be a problem. Okay, so as it is a single entity unit, so it is very hard to do the scaling, because when the user load is getting more and more, your application will not bear the load, right? So of course, it is go for a tampering the request, or your service is go down, or whatever things may happen. For that only, people used to deploy the components in one or another server and bring up it, so that that load will be equally distributed into two different servers and can able to handle it. But the monolithic architecture problem is it is vertically scale, not the horizontal scale. Maybe I'll explain in detail what is what. Okay, like what is horizontal scaling, what is the vertical scaling. That I will go in detail in subsequent classes. Okay, let's moving the next slide. That is about service-oriented architecture. So service-oriented architecture is nothing but we identify the module, major module, then we will be separating out from the single unit so that it will be reusable and also loosely coupled. The application will be composed of services that communicate with each other over the network. For example, any e-commerce application also you can take. It will be based on the service-oriented architecture, or it will be microservices architecture, considering it is the modularity and also loosely coupled. It has their own pros and cons. In pros perspective, it's very flexible and scalable because you are done the modularity now, and also it is loosely coupled now, right? So the scalability is very much easy in the cloud. So whenever you required one of the components supposed to be scale up based on the user load, that you can do it very easily. And it is interoperability also and maintenance. And concern, it has the performance overhead because of the middle layer, that this bus is sitting in middle between the user as well as backend services. That's why it is performance overhead. And also infra cost is more and more to build the initial setup. Moving on to next slide, microservices architecture. So it is also a very much fine granular way of constructing the software design by identifying your own business problems and business modules. It is also a smaller and loosely coupled services. Is it fine, Pradeep? Is it fine? You can able to see my microservices architecture slide now? Okay, thanks, Pradeep. Maybe I have seen your ping very late. Let me move on. So why I'm telling that fine granular, what is mean by that? It is nothing but I'm just taking the single entity into smaller sub modules. That is called login module, order service module, inventory module, and notification module, for example. So that's why I'm saying it's a coarse granular level of modularity, which will give the system very much loosely coupled, and it will be helpful for the scalability. It is always communicated with the HTTP REST and messaging systems. And example, Netflix, Amazon, eBay, most of the e-commerce systems are inherited already into microservices architecture. Considering the time, I'm just moving very fastly so that we can cover up something in the day 2 activity. So this is a quick wrap up of all the things. So monolithic, how it is thing is all as a single unit clubbed together. So UI is a service oriented architecture where the service bus is sitting in middle, who is interacting the user as well as backend services. And microservices architecture, as I said, it is a fine granular way of modularity so that it is totally loosely coupled and scalability also. And why microservices we should learn? First of all, as I said, it's a very much small, well chosen deployment unit. And also it is cloud enabled. We can go for any cloud technology and quickly ready to market, and very much easily deployable and very much scalable, also very much good. And we can also handle resilience and fault isolation. So we do have some challenges in terms of complexity in the distribution system and data management in the complexity, service dependency and communication in the network, and as well as infrastructure cost when you are deploying the components into any of the cloud service provider like AWS, Azure, that will giving the initial setup cost. Of course, the security and access control also a challenges, but we have a solution already in hand to overcome all these challenges, what I have highlighted here. That we will cover up in the day 4 5th service classes. So what is Spring Boot? Why it is really needed? So to build your microservices architecture, you need a Spring Boot skill because it is a Java ecosystem it taken. So addresses all your key needs and challenges in modern application development. It's very quick to do the rapid development because of it has all the Spring ecosystem abstraction, which including embedded servers and auto configuration and dependency injection. So one should learn the Spring Boot for the quick way of completing your application quickly and ready to market. That's why we need to learn Spring Boot. As I said, highlighted, what is the difference between Spring and Spring Boot? Spring Boot is an abstract of Spring ecosystem. Whatever Spring is delivered to us, with it will be helpful for the Spring Boot to implement on top of its own specialization. As I said, it is a developer friendly, and as a developer, we should focus about what is the business problem, how we are going to solve it. No need of bothering about the configuration overhead. So it is a developer friendly. Let me quickly move into the today's agenda, day 2, web services. Let me share my screen. Please let me know whether you can able to see my day 2 slides. Please type S in the chat box if you are seeing the day 2 introduction to web services PPT. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm skipping this one. Okay. What is the agenda of the day? Maybe we are a little late. I'm trying to cover up as much as other. If it's overflowing, don't worry. We will cover up in the day 3, which is on Monday. So day 2 agenda. What is a web services? Why we should learn web services? Because the topic is Spring Boot and microservices. Why you are bringing a new topic, that is web services here? People may think. I'll give you the answer in the next couple of slides. So in the agenda, what is the web services and how web service work internally, and what is the key terminology one should know before getting into the Spring Boot learning? What are the types of web services in the market? And we will be going to explore in detail and what is the difference between the web services, SOAP and RESTful web services. As I said, I'll always start the session with the motivational quote. Today's motivational quote is: the only way to do great work is to love what you do. So it's Steve Jobs, of course. I really admire this quote. I want to skip this slide because we already given these things already. Okay, let's quickly start. What is the why we should learn web services? Before getting into what web services, I want to give the light why we should learn the web services. Because it is a fundamental knowledge one should possess so that you can easily adapt the Spring Boot learning very quickly and easily. So let's understand the fundamentals with the help of web services. As I said, it is a solid foundation and understanding of fundamental concept which will be useful when you learn Spring Boot. That's why one should learn the web services first, and following by you can pick the Spring Boot. Okay, coming to the second one, we need to understand how this communication is happening between the two systems. For example, we all know now the single entity, which is nothing but the monolithic application. My application will have the presentation layer. My application will have the business layer. My application will have the data layer. That's how we have seen the system. That is called monolithic architecture. But now, as part of this microservices architecture, we are going to go for a granular level of modularity. So, of course, my modules are separated. Now I need to understand how this system will be talk each other, to communicate each other. What pattern, what the request response payload I need to pass and receive to get the information. So I have to understand the system, and communication protocol also is very much required. And integrating with the external systems. So your external system, we don't know whether they build the system in Java or any other framework, right? There will be a problem may come, right? So we need to understand the web services so that it teaches you how to integrate the applications and system that may be developed in different languages or frameworks. This knowledge becomes the invaluable when you need to integrate the external APIs or services in your Spring Boot application. Let me quickly draw something so that you people can understand what I am trying to say. You can able to view my things, let me know. I'm sharing the OneNote. Can you please check? Type S in the comment box if you see the OneNote. Thank you. So as I said, I'm just going to draw some couple of things so that you can easily relate it. So this is my monolithic application where I have a my UI layer, and I have a business layer, and I have a database layer, right? DAO. Okay, right. This is how we design the system in monolithic. So as I said, it is the UI layer, and this is the business layer, and this is the DAO layer, okay, which has the DB in the behind the scene. So this is how the user will be interacting. This is the direction which always go from, okay, this is the way the user will interact, right? So now, as part of this web services call, we are not going to in a single unit no more. Okay, assume I have a two application in granular way, and I'm just drawing two boxes. It's nothing but the application one. Okay, and this is nothing but the application two. Sorry. So this might be in Java. Okay, this might be in the .NET. Okay, we don't know. Okay, anything may happen by the systems. Sorry about it. I think. Okay. I'm saying .NET. Okay. Assume we'll go for an example. Okay. Assume you build your system, which is like example I'm telling, which is the weather. Okay. Weather forecast. Okay. That's the system you bought it. Okay. You bring up by using your Java expertise. You have forecasting. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So this is your application, which is built in the Java with your expertise skill. Okay, now the system called the application one, which is the intention is giving the weather forecasting system. If you have in India, you have n number of states, right? So if I give any of the city, it will give the temperature or the humidity. Okay, anything you can take it up. Okay, so that information you will be given to us. Okay, so this system built on the .NET system, but it is like travel mode, like book my trip or Agoda. Okay, that kind of application. This is your friend application. Assume it's a friend application. This is your Java, your own application. Okay, so now these two systems supposed to be interact now. Okay, so this particular things is required for the adaptability or interoperability. Okay, so you can't directly talk your Java system into .NET system because they don't know each other. For that only, we need a web services expertise here to make the system understandable each other. Okay, so I will go for a small thing so that you can easily check it out. Okay, maybe we'll come back again this particular slide once again. I'll go back to the PPT. Let me know you can see my day 2 PPT. Please type Y in the comment box. It is fine. Are you able to see now a day 2 PPT? Okay. Thanks, Pradeep. Okay, so I'm in the point of API design and documentation. Okay, so one should understand because you have your two different systems as I shown you, but they don't know each other. Okay, now you have to make the system comfortable to communicate with each other. For that, definitely you should know what language the system should adapt, right? So you have your friend who speaks only Hindi. Okay, but you don't know Hindi. Okay, you need some middleman who knows both your languages, right? You know, the X language to Y language, supposed to they want to communicate, we need a mediator in middle who knows X and Y, right? That's why it works. Same way, your web services protocol also should be a neutral audience here so that your system 1 and 2 will talk each other. What exact request and response they have to deliver, they will understand each other. So where the API design and documentation is playing a critical role here. Okay. Now I'm moving to the industry relevance. Web services are widely used in industry now. There are a lot of domains are there in the market where respective of banking, financial, healthcare, so many domains are there. All the industries are already started using this widely. So learning these skills ensure you are well prepared for the real world project where knowledge of API design and integration is essential. Hope you got it now, right? So why we are studying these web services, as it is the fundamental solid foundation one should possess so that they can easily adapt the Spring Boot microservices. Okay, that's why I am bringing this topic. So now let's move to the second slide, which is about what is web services. So web services, as I said, right, it's a standardized way of interacting web-based application using open standards over a internet protocol. In terms of it may be HTTP, or in terms of it will be SOAP, that we are going to cover up. So essentially, it allows different software application to communicate with each other over internet or intranet by using the predefined protocol that I said, right? Some neutral audience supposed to be sit in middle who knows X and Y language. They will be interrupt the requesters very easily and things make done. And also it is a platform agnostic method of communication that allows two different systems, regardless of their underlying technologies, to exchange the data and invoking the functionality. That's why I'm saying it is an interoperability. You don't need to bound with the one single technology. You can also talk each other, even though two different language systems also. That is the power of web services. Okay, so let's move on to our notes section now, so that I'm going to draw a small use case so that you can easily connect on what exactly I am going to say. Please give Y in the comment box if you see the note 1. Thank you. Any doubts so far? Please raise your hands. Or if you are okay, then we will move on to the next topic. Okay, so as I said, as your friend is going to construct the traveling book application, mobile app, something, and you have your own Java expertise skill on weather forecasting system. Now your friend is impressed about your project, and he want to call up that particular services so that he can also show the weather climate in the particular location when the customer is booking his holiday package in his mobile app. Right? So as I said, I'm just going to bring this one so that people can easily connect. Okay, so let me bring this one. So this is I assume it is your application. Okay, this is your application, weather forecasting application. Now he is coming into your application and seeing, okay, this is a monolithic application. Okay, because in UI it will be delivering the HTML output, right? The HTML is the output of your system, right? Now, but this HTML is not the helpful for your friend's application, right? Because he want the data only, not the HTML output, right? But what he is telling, friend, don't give me this entire stuff. Okay, instead of that, what you need to do, just take the business and DO layer and convert that logic as a jar file and give it to me. Okay, you got my point, right? So convert your own business module and DAO module as format of jar file and give it to me. That's what he's telling you. Okay, so now you are passing this jar file to your friend application in his pom.xml. That is the dependency controller, right? So there you are mentioning the jar file and build the source code and now he can able to get the business logic what you written, and what is the DAO layer what you written. Those two things will be deployed as a dependency component in his application. But the problem comes when you are changing the business logic, right? Something like you're doing some changes in the business logic. Okay, that time this newly updated logic will not be provided to your friend's application, right? Because he has referring the old jar file in his application. But you updated your application. This change will not be reflected. So again, you have to build the new version of the jar file and give it to the your friend to deploy. So lot of problem will come. That is why we are going to adapt the web services where you are going to expose the service. This I'm going to expose the service into your friend application straightforward, right? So if I expose the service into his, right, he can consume the endpoint and he can get the flavor of weather forecasting details. That is why the web services playing a critical role to giving this interoperability and service oriented things as to the different systems which is built on two different technologies. So how it is being achieved? That's the next question, right? How this can be achieved? Yes, this can be achieved with help of HTML, or we can say SOAP or REST, presentational state transfer protocols. We will be going to the PPT so that we will cover up the theoretical and come back when it is required. I'm just sharing the PPT. Can you please confirm once again? You can able to view my screen. Type S in the chat box. Thank you, Pradeep. So before getting into that, we need to understand the key terminologies. So that you will be comfortable when I am going to explain the systems in detail. For that, the key terminology will help you. So what is what? So first going to pick the request and response. So when you are talking to the different systems in terms of Java system maybe or .NET system maybe Python, anything maybe. But what is the request you are going to send it to the system and what is the response you are going to receive? That you need to understand first. Second thing, whether it is a XML based communication or it is a JSON based communication. So that is a very important thing. 1 minute. So that's what I'm coming to say. What message exchange format you supposed to follow while communicating to the system 1 to system 2 in terms of XML or JSON? What is the service provider? Okay, what kind of service provider they are doing? And what is the service consumer? In terms of consuming, you will be a consumer. In terms of the providing, you will be a provider. In the following example, what I have explained, the weather forecasting, you are the provider. You are providing the details of the city weather forecasting to your friend application, right? In terms of exposing the endpoint. So you are a data provider or service provider. So your friend application is the service consumer. And now we need to ask oneself, so how it is being defined? So how he is getting to consuming this request and response? What is the format? What is that URL I have to expose? how he has to consume. There are so many things we need to clarify so that you will get the clear idea. So that's what I am telling. What is the transport? How are we going to communicate? Okay, I'm a consumer. Okay, fine. So I have a definition in place already, contract in place. We can say it's a contract way in place. So what is the transport mode I have to contact? Whether it is HTTP or SOAP, what is the thing that we need to understand? So we can also do the transmission via MQ. That I will explain in detail next slide. Okay, so now what is the format of the request and response? Okay, that's the main thing we need to discuss. As I said, it is a service definition. It's a contract. In the contract, supposed to be signed between the consumer as well as provider, so that you will not go for any misunderstanding. That is why the contract I can saying as a service definition. What are the things will be part of the service definition? The first part will go for what format the particular request and response supposed to be there, whether it is XML or JSON. That thing will be the critical part. And second thing, the request structure. So in the request structure, what is the node, submode, what format I have to follow when I am requesting the data to the system? That's about the request structure. In the following example, what I have provided, that weather forecasting, your friend supposed to follow the request structure like which country, which state, which city the weather forecasting information is required. So he has to follow the request structure so that he can access the resources and get the data done. Same way, the response also having their own structure, what we are going to deliver to the consumer. And finally, what is the endpoint the consumer supposed to consume so that all the information will be provided to the consumer? So this 4 information is the necessary and required parameter one should consume the web services. Any doubt at this point of time? Please raise your hand. We will clarify it. If you have doubt, just type Y in the chat box. Okay, let's move on quickly then. I'm going to the next slide, which is about type of the services. We have a lot of web services in place now. So I'm mainly focusing about SOAP and REST web services. SOAP is a simple object access protocol. It's a protocol for exchanging the structure information. As I said, right, it's a contract between the provider and consumer. What format structure I have to follow to communicate to the two systems. A protocol for exchanging the structured information in the implementation of web services in computer networks. That is called SOAP. Next, I'm going to the REST. REST is nothing but the representational state transfer. It is not a protocol. Okay, it's not a protocol. It's an architectural style and set of constraints for designing the network applications. We will cover up in the next subsequent slide very much detail. No hurry. We have a time to cover up. And the final one, JSON RPC and XML RPC, that I'm not going to cover up. But just to know, it is a lightweight protocol for the remote procedural calls between the computers. Okay, I'm not going to cover up in this thing, but I'm going to cover up in the SOAP and REST in the subsequent slides. So I'm just overcapping this again. So 3 important points we can take it up as far as. First thing, designed for machine to machine communication is a web services, right? One should understand. Machine to machine or application to application, we can interact each other. As I provided one case study, the weather forecasting, whether your application is one of the application and your friend application, which is built on the .NET also one of the application. By using the web services, we can interact with machine to machine or application to application. And second takeaway is it can be a interoperable, not a platform dependent. That can be achievable with help of web services. And it should allow the communication over a network. How your friend can reach your system to get the information? Definitely, he has to make a request in the network and you are giving the response back to your friend application. So 3 important key takeaways. It's completely for designing the machine to machine communication and it should be interoperable, not platform dependent, should allow the communication over a network. So the 3 takeaways. Okay. Now you can ask, okay, sir, all I'm getting. Okay. So how does the data exchange between the application, right? So definitely the exchange will happen between 2 application in terms of request and response. We already discussed how the request structure is going to be and what is the response structure looks going to be, right? So as a consumer, you have to make a request to the provider. The provider will be giving the information to consumer you, right? This is where the data will be exchanged between the applications. How to make the web service platform is independent, right? So that is help of XML and JSON transmissions. So that we are going to cover up in this SOAP web services. Let me get into the SOAP web services now. It is a special way of building a web services. Okay, so one of the way and very special way of building the web services. As I said, it's completely with XML. Your request also should be XML and your response also should be in the XML type. That's very important. Okay. And the transmission between the 2 systems can be HTTP or MQ. All right. Both the things are supported by SOAP system. Now, the request, how it looks like, right? That we need to understand. 1 minute. I'm just going to share the OneNote once again. Let me come back. Okay, let me go to the OneNote once again. I'll quickly do the things. Please type if you see my note. Yeah, thank you, Pradeep. Okay, so now coming back to the SOAP. Okay, so how the SOAP messages will be looks like. I'm just quickly drawing the message structure. Okay, so this is the envelope. Okay, the SOAP envelope or messaging envelope, where it has the 2 critical parameter, one for the header, another one for the body. Okay, so this is how it will be. So this is the header information, SOAP header, and this is your body. Okay, this is how your structure will be. This is the envelope. Okay, sorry, I'm sorry for the typo. Okay, so this header information about what is the metadata. It's a part of the request in terms of who is the originator of the request, Okay, so what is the type of protocol? What is the version of the protocol? Those information will be part of the header, but it is not a mandatory. Okay, so not mandatory. Okay, so the body is the one which is the critical one, which will be play a critical role in the request and response exchange. So your request body supposed to contain the information about your use case. Suppose, as I said, in the weather forecasting system, if your friend is interested to know about the weather climate in the Delhi, he has to pass the information in the SOAP envelope with mentioning the Delhi as the city he would like to interest about the weather. That time he has to pass on this information to the system. Okay, so this is how the format of the request looks like. Okay, fine. Let me going to the PPT once again. So you can able to view my screen. So we talked about what is SOAP over MQ and what is SOAP over HTML and WSDL. So WSDL is nothing but WSDL, nothing but web service definition language, where the contract, we was talking about contract, right? What is contract? That I have explained you, right? What is what? So in that contract, you will be know what is the request format, response format, what is the endpoint I have to consume. Those information will be in detail in this particular things. Okay, so that is called WSDL. In SOAP world, we need a WSDL in hand to understand the producer systems, provider services. So if you are interested about the weather, then you can go and read the WSDL file, understand how your request structure supposed to be, so that you will get the response very immediately without any error. So that kind of contract is called WSDL in SOAP web services. So I'm going to the next slide. In that, this is the structure we were discussed, right? What is the endpoint? What is the request structure? And what is the response structure? What are the services your provider system is giving the information? Those all the things will be placed as part of your WSDL file. I would like to cover the rest of the slides, but we already crossed the time allocation. Okay. Shall we move this class into Monday? Because considering the time, is that fine? Can you please, others also, can you quickly replay back so that we can plan the session accordingly? Because we are crossed the defined time now. So meanwhile, I'll be sharing the slides into the WhatsApp community. You please go there and watch the recording. And if you have any doubt, let's connect on the Monday session and we will discuss the doubt clarification and following by the REST web services. And then we'll directly go to the hands-on session. Because I want to introduce the key terminology and the basic words so that you will feel comfortable while doing the hands-on. That's why it is taking a little time theoretically so that you people should comfortable with the things. So day 3, let's go for a doubt session and following by the REST web services. And then we'll go to the sample program on web services in Spring Boot directly. So considering the time, Let's wind up here. I will be circulating the PPT and notes in the WhatsApp community. If you are comfortable and you are impressed the way of the tech content, please enroll the course. We have lot to cover in hands-on. We are yet to cover up as of due to the time constraint. If you have any doubt about the things, tech clarification or a non-tech clarification, feel free up to drop a message in support@logitech.com, or you can contact the provided support number. The team will help you to resolve your queries. Let's wind up here. We will connect on Monday and resume back our session. Thank you so much for your patience and listening this. Thank you all.